All right, let's do this. Live once again. This time I'm live at the beginning of the month, which I don't think is first, but usually go live like in the middle of the month or towards the end. I don't know. I don't have a set schedule for these live streams aside from doing one a month. So I just felt like going live today because why not? It's a beautiful day out, nice and sunny, blue sky. What a lovely day to stay inside and do a YouTube live stream. I'm not saying that disparagingly or anything. Just joking around. Hello, the weak greatness. How are you doing? What's up, Mikey Michael? Hello, bother me none. How are you doing? Doing good. Good. How are you doing, Corbin, guitar rocker? How are all of you doing on this lovely, lovely Friday? Again, the weather is really fucking nice. Jesus. Um, what to talk about? Oh yeah, I don't know if anyone in the chat really cares about this, but a new Beatles single came out yesterday. Yes, I know that's a crazy thing to say in 2023, new Beatles song, but I like it. Initially I was really against it because there was a lot of stupid clickbait articles that were saying that AI was going to be involved in the song, and they made it seem like AI they were going to make an entirely new song with AI replicating John Lennon's vocals when that's not the case. It's a song that's based off of an old John Lennon demo, and they were just using AI to enhance John Lennon's voice because the original demo's sound quality was so poor. So, initially I was angry when I read the headlines, but then when I actually read the fucking articles, I was like, "Oh, that's what they're doing." Um, I like the song. It's bittersweet because it's probably almost certainly going to be the last Beatles song released. But, I'm glad I get to, enjoy a new Beatles song in my lifetime. I never thought that was going to happen. It's me, Bond Milker 2006, but this is my second account. Hello, Bond Milker. How are you doing? Good. Mostly been watching One Piece today. Heard good things about One Piece, but I've never watched anime. I've never watched a single anime. I guess the closest thing to an anime I've watched was, Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I don't think that counts as an anime, right? I don't think. It's similar in style, but it's a Western cartoon, I'm pretty sure. That's a great show. I liked Korra too, but I like Avatar more, obviously. Most people do. Have you heard about Mariah Carey? It's time. I don't listen to Mariah Carey. Speaking of Mariah Carey, that Christmas song she did, get ready to hear that over and over and over and over and over again in the coming weeks. Jesus, we're already in the holiday season somehow. What the fuck? Like, it feels like 2 minutes ago the year just started and now we're in November. Halloween just passed, and, Thanksgiving is later this month. Next month is Christmas. I mean, Jesus Christ. And again, you're gonna be bombarded with Christmas music like, you always are every year. Speaking of the Beatles, though, the one Christmas song I tolerate is, the John Lennon one. That's a great song. Well, it's not really entirely about Christmas, but, you know, that's the only one I can stomach that they play all the time. Sup, Robert? How are you doing? You haven't heard the new Beatles song yet. It's decent, though I prefer John Lennon's original demo. The original demo was just recorded on a cassette tape, and it was just John Lennon playing on a piano. I like the more stripped down nature of it because it's more intimate and personal. Best Christmas '80s song as well. I've never watched a single anime in my life, so whenever people talk about anime, I feel left out. Me too. Me too. I have quite a few friends online and in real life who watch anime a lot, and whenever they're talking about anime, I'm like, I have nothing to contribute to this conversation because I don't watch anime. It's not out of any kind of elitism or anything. I don't know. Never had much interest in watching anime. I mean, I'm not opposed to like watching cartoons in general because sometimes I like binging cartoons like Courage the Cowardly Dog and Ed, Ed and Eddie, but I don't know. Never had much of an inclination to watch anime. Or like on the rare occasion I actually watch Vosh live. He sometimes goes into a tangent about animes he's watching or things of the sort, and I just fucking tune out. That's usually when I leave the stream because I don't know what he's talking about. Well, last weekend, he was it the last weekend? Whatever. Around the time the Five Nights at Freddy's movie came out, he was doing a stream, and I was watching that stream specifically for his coverage on the ongoing conflict between Israel and Gaza. And then eventually in that stream, he started ranting about Five Nights at Freddy's and the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and I'm like, I have no fucking interest, and left the stream. Avatar isn't an anime, and yes, it is a phenomenal show. Yeah, I thought so. But yes, still a great show, regardless. I kind of watched it at a bad time, though. I watched it when my grandmother was still in the hospital right before she died. So, uh, some days, that was just lingering in my mind, and I wasn't really actually paying attention to the show. It was more just background noise while while my mind was just preoccupied with that. I should give it a watch. I should give it a rewatch someday, though. It's been 3 years now since I've seen it. I don't know if I'll rewatch Korra though. Not a bad show. It's just it was just thought it was all right. I was in Walmart today and they had Christmas stuff out. Target had theirs out a few weeks ago. Yeah, I go to the store, and I'm already seeing Christmas shit out. That's just surreal too. Actually, um, uh, I went to one of the stores around me already had Christmas stuff out in fucking September. They these stores they waste no time when it comes to putting out Christmas shit. But yeah, already Christmas trees out, Christmas ornaments, decorations, all that shit, all of it already out. There's also a Christmas store that opened up in a shopping center near me. I went in there out of curiosity, but ugh, I don't like going in stores like that. It's all the fucking Christmas decorations and shit. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the commercialization of the holiday, and I don't care for the religious aspect either, of course, because I'm not religious. I'm these days I call myself an agnostic atheist, but I do enjoy Christmas solely for the togetherness aspect. Spending time with family. Even though ever since my grandmother died, we haven't really done shit for Christmas besides just get gifts for each other, and that's really about it. For the most part, Christmas in my house is just any other day. But no, I like that kind of aspect of Christmas. I remember getting to an I remember like I don't know 5 or 6 years ago getting into an argument with some dumb fuck that used to be in my server, some conservative dumb fuck, and he was like, "You're an atheist. You can't celebrate Christmas." And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to have a nice time with my family because back then my grandmother was still alive. Spend time with her. My uncle from Jersey would come down, and we would have a nice time together. That's what I liked about Christmas. But yet the the prick still got a Still got a ass mad. Whatever. I already have been seeing Christmas commercials. I don't watch live TV, so I don't know anything about any commercial that's currently airing. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Again, we're already in the holiday season. Some fucking how. Last Christmas. Well, the George Michael song. Bad Religion has a couple of Christmas songs. I like their song "What Child Is This." Never listened to much Bad Religion. There was someone in my server, and anyone who's in my Discord server who has been there for an extended period of time know who I'm referring to. But there was someone in my server who really liked Bad Religion, got me to listen to some Bad Religion albums, and I thought they were decent. Though I've never really listened to much punk, though. I mean, I do like bands like Fugazi and Sex Pistols. Yes, I like Sex Pistols. I know some people say they're posers. I don't care. I just like the music. Don't kill me. But outside of those select few bands and some others, I don't really listen to much punk. I don't care about pop punk either. Outside of Green Day, I don't, I don't like that genre, but Green Day is a massive exception. Speaking of Green Day, didn't they release a new single yesterday? Completely forgot about that. What's it called? Mom, I Have No Brains or whatever. Kind of a bad day to release a new single though, because of the same day that the Beatles released their last single. So, I was focused on that rather than the new Green Day single. I like the other Green Day single that came out like a week or two ago though. The American Dream is Killing Me. A little cookie cutter, yes, but I still thought it was decent. But I still have yet to listen to the new Green Day single. They have a new album coming out in what, January, I think. Um, I have a little bit more faith in this new release because it so far, at least the one single I heard, is nothing like what they released a few years ago. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking about when they were making Father of All. I Yeah, the less I think about that album, the better. Same with the trilogy. I don't like the trilogy that much either. You always seem to start a live stream during my smoke sessions. Maybe that's because I'm looking into your window and checking to see when you're starting your smoke sessions. Ever think of that? I'm packing a bowl right now. I watched the F and AF movie last night. It wasn't that scary of a movie, but decent overall. I never had any interest in Five Nights at Freddy's. I played the first game years ago. When I was 13, around the same time the first game came out. It was this big internet sensation. You had people like PewDiePie and Markiplier back when they were relevant, playing the game and making it this huge sensation. And I wanted to see what the fuck the hype was about, and I didn't care for it at all. Christmas is definitely not one of my favorite holidays. Oof. Well, again, I don't care about the religious aspect of Christmas, what Christmas is actually about, but I still enjoy Christmas. Maybe not as much these days, but I'm all right with it. This year went by fast. It did. It really fucking did. Jesus. Like every year goes by fast for me though. Like feels like I said before, it feels like 2 minutes ago the year just started. Surreal. Something I don't like about Christmas is people still having their Christmas decorations and lights up in the middle of January. My household, we usually take down the Christmas decorations like I don't know, 2 or 3 days into January. Some of my neighbors do take a while to take down their decorations. I remember years ago, um back when I was in middle school, when I would walk home, I would always pass by this house that had their wreath up, no shit. And they had this big wreath up on their house, and they no shit had it up until I think like April. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really pay much mind to other people's houses. They have decorations up when it's way past Christmas. Mm, I don't really care too much about that. But that was still kind of surreal to see. Have you ever heard of a band called Spirit Box? They released new music today. I don't think I've ever heard of Spirit Box. I'm guessing it's a rock band. Yeah, they released a new single. I like their latest two songs. So I guess that is a if the second single off off the latest Green Day album is good, I guess that's a positive sign, a sign that they're not going to release complete dog shit like they did a few years ago. Again, what the fuck was Father of All? Like, I'm all for bands, um, straying away from their usual sound, but that was just fucking terrible. I remember, listening to Father of All with a Discord friend, and we were both like, "What the what is this shit?" It's more the forced happiness vibes I get from Christmas I dislike. Yeah, that's definitely a thing, you know, some people do try to force this happy persona during the holiday season because it's the holiday season, the time of joy, wonder, and you know I'm sure for some people that exacerbates depression, but they just want to mask that and pretend that everything is okay because again it's the holiday season. People expect you to be happy during the holiday season, which is complete bunk. You shouldn't force happiness upon yourself if you're not happy because that's just burying your true feelings even deeper within you, and you're projecting a persona that's not reflective of how you're actually feeling at the moment. So yes, that is something that I don't like. But that's more of a societal issue because again most people expect you to just be all jolly during the holidays when you don't have to be. I mean, hell, I remember I don't think it was last year, but holiday season 2021, I was depressed as shit. Same thing with the holiday season of 2020, depressed as fucking shit because especially 2020, that was my first holiday season without my grandmother, so that was really bothering me. And that also bothered me in 2021 because 2021 was the first full year I had, that without her. So, that it was mostly that was bothering me. I was a little better last year, but yeah, just because it's the holiday season doesn't mean depression still can't creep up. I feel like that if I'm depressed during Christmas, that people will think I'm ill or something. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. People think it's weird to be depressed during the holiday season when that's perfectly valid if that's how you're actually feeling. I've never played the FNAF games, but I watched Markiplier play them and I saw I Hate Everything's video on the movie. I Hate Everything, that's a throwback. I haven't watched an IHE video in years. Holy shit. Used to be one of my favorite channels in like 2015, 2016, but then I just kind of stopped paying attention to him because I guess I just lost interest in his content. I don't really know. I don't think I'm still subscribed to him. But yes, I remember I hit everything's rant on the games. Like, of course, I haven't seen what he thinks about the movie, but yeah, I remember his rant on the games. I'm going to miss the breaks we get from school during Christmas. I used to get I remember the breaks I would get in high school. Well, college I get an even longer break because the semester would end right before Christmas, and the next semester wouldn't start until the end of January. So I got over a month off. So yeah, the college breaks are definitely better than the school breaks. I used to watch Markiplier when I was a kid. I never When I was a kid, I didn't watch Markiplier. Well, him and PewDiePie were really big when I was like 13. And that was when I was going that was when I was in the middle of my phase where I was like, I don't watch Let's Players. I don't watch these popular YouTubers. I'm too good for that. So I didn't watch them at their peak, and I don't watch them now because I just genuinely don't have much of an interest in their content. Yeah, they're a band. You should check them out. Yeah, I should make a mental note of checking out the band you mentioned. Father of All was a trash album. It was. I mean, that album was only like 20 minutes long, but felt like a fucking eternity because of how awful it was. Like, I didn't think they would be able to top the trilogy when it came to making bad albums. Hell, I even think the trilogy has some good stuff. It's kind of buried within the fucking garbage, but there's some diamonds in the rough there. Father of all the way through, did not like it at all. Just truly an album with no redeeming qualities. And I don't say that about many albums. Because even a lot of bad albums I listen to would have at least, one or two songs where I'm at least like, this is an okay track, but Father of all the way through, don't like it. Don't like it at all. I'd rather spend Christmas hiding in my room and smoking weed. Well, I wouldn't hide. Me personally, I don't hide away on Christmas. I do try to like spend the day with family and such. My immediate family, my mom and two uncles that I live with. 2021 holiday season was rough because I had to deal with that high school I went to. Oh yeah, I remember you mentioning the school you went to. Yeah, that was. I'm glad you don't have to deal with that anymore. I'm more excited for my 17th birthday this month than Christmas. Oh, happy early birthday! I forgot your birthday is this month. What day? Well, actually, don't you have your birthday in your Discord username? I could just look at that. Oh wait, no, you don't. It's just 2006. 2006 is 17 years ago. I was 5 that year. I vividly remember it. I used to love IHE too. Yeah, that channel is a throwback, like I said before. One of those channels back in 2016 I used to watch a lot that I don't watch now. I didn't even, well, yeah, I didn't know he was still making videos. I just kind of stopped hearing about him. I start feeling really depressed when the time falls back and it starts getting dark at 5 p.m. Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing that this weekend. I forgot. Hot take, but I actually like it when the clocks fall back and it and it gets dark really early. I've never met another person who agrees with me on that, but I don't care. I've always preferred that. But even still, can we stop doing this shit? Like I'm so fucking tired of daylight savings. It's such an antiquated practice. Like I hate pushing the clock. I especially hate pushing the clocks forward. I hate losing an hour of sleep. But I'm there was a bill that that I think died in the House last year, where that proposed abolishing daylight savings and more specifically abolishing when we roll the clocks back and we gain an hour and it gets dark earlier. Even though I like it when it gets dark earlier, I'd be fine with taking that away because I fucking hate, having to. Well, I don't actually have to change the clocks because we use pretty much all of our clocks are digital, but still, I just hate, having to adjust to to a new time schedule. The first few days of, after changing the clocks is just really hard on me. And also, I have heard that, when we do roll the clocks back and, it gets darker earlier, uh, people are more prone to get into things like car accidents and such. So even more reason to get rid of it. Again, even though I like it when it gets dark earlier, I'm willing to make that sacrifice and get rid of, rolling the clocks back if it, saves at least a few lives. And again, I just fucking hate having to adjust to a different time schedule. Maybe I'll make a rant on that someday. I don't know. Maybe when we roll the clocks forward again. I just always like the night more than the day, so I never had an issue with it being dark early. I'm less prone to being depressed during the night than I am during the day. Oh yes, Christmas Breaks. The trilogy had some good songs on it. Yeah, it did. Especially the last song on Trey. It's a song called "The Forgotten." I do genuinely really like that song. That song was like the light at the end of the tunnel because it was at the very end of the trilogy, and it's easily my favorite on the trilogy. But they have that one song that's so fucking awful. I haven't heard it in a while, but Billy Joe Armstrong sounds like he's fucking drunk. Meanwhile, there's this female rapper in the song, and uh, it's awful all the way through. I forget the name of it specifically, but that song might actually be worse than anything that's on Father of All, honestly. I used to like PewDiePie's content back in 2016 slash 17. He had a baby this year too. Yeah, I have heard about him having a baby. Mainly because these really weird people are like using the picture of him, his wife, and his baby in memes and saying the left wants to abolish this, and like you can't just be happy that someone else had a kid. You have to like tie in your hatred for leftists into it. It's so fucking weird. Same thing with some McDonald's commercial, some stupid manufacturer controversy on the right where people were saying the left is mad that this commercial is promoting traditional family values. And I looked at the commercial and it was just like a 10-second little thing of a family eating McDonald's. There was no political message in it at all. So fucking weird. I was thinking of making a video about that, but I only caught whiff of that controversy after it was relevant. So yeah, wasn't really worth making a video on at that point because, I'd rather, focus on controversies that actually matter, like real world, like stuff going on in current events and such, like, Israel and Gaza, for example. Like, I don't even know if any of drama's going on among the online left because I don't fucking pay attention to that shit, really. And sometimes I do if it, actually does pertain to a topic that, is important, but usually I don't. I usually spend time with family on Christmas. Yeah, I miss having my uncle come down. For those who don't know, my uncle from Jersey is a big time conservative. He's a Trumper, but he's still family, and if you don't get into politics with him, he is a nice guy. So I don't hate him or anything. I hate his politics, but I don't hate him. Markiplier was almost in the FNAF movie, but he couldn't make it due to a schedule conflict, though Matt Pat from Game Theory is in it, so is Corey X Kenshin. I know Matt Pat, but I don't know the other guy. Yeah, Matt Pat, he does all those Five Nights at Freddy's game theory videos, so I'm not surprised he's in it. And Markiplier, he helped put that game on the map, right? I don't remember much before 2010, so obviously I can't remember 2006. Well, yeah, you were born that year, as surreal as that is to say. But I was 5 that year. That's not well, that's probably not when I started to form memories. I'm sure that was a few years earlier, but you know, as far back as my most clearest memories go, I think the earliest I can remember clearly is 2000 is when I was 5. Abolish daylight savings. I absolutely agree. Again, I'm tired of the the bullshit, with changing clocks and such. I'm gonna take a hit. Cool. Conservatives love manufacturing controversies. Yeah, they do. They really do. Same thing with the uh the Starfield controversy a few months ago. Like you could so easily ignore that there's options to change your character's pronouns. Like it's just a little, um just a little thing you fuck around with on the character selection screen, and you don't have to pay it any mind after you select your character's pronouns. But yeah, that for some reason that was a huge controversy among right wingers. I don't know. It's just so ridiculous. I guarantee you, if it was a lefty that was getting that mad over something they perceive as, I don't know, maybe misogyny or bigotry in general in a video game, even if they may be right, but if they were getting that mad, I guarantee you they would be the face of conservative memes for the next like 10 years, like the red haired lady is, or the lady screaming after Trump won is. I can't believe the those memes are still around though. The red haired feminist lady and the lady screaming though. Like we're not in 2016 anymore. You can move the fuck on finally and develop original humor that doesn't rely on shit that was slightly funny 7 years ago when you were a teenager. But there's a lot of people who are perpetually stuck in that year, and I don't understand it. It's not like it was even that good of a year for the internet when everyone was trying to be this try hard douchebag spewing out the N word and shit. Who do you dislike more, Andrew Tate or Sneeko? I'd probably say Andrew Tate since I'm sure he radicalized a lot more kids than Sneeko has, even though Sneeko has, I'm sure, radicalized a lot of children. I mean, look at that video I talked about a few months ago where these kids were at a Sneeko meetup and they were like fucking, I don't know, 10 years old, 11 years old, maybe at most 12. And they're saying shit like "fuck gays," "gays should die," "we hate trans people." Like I couldn't even imagine saying this shit when I was that age. I couldn't give a fuck less about politics at that age. And now we have children who are, saying this vile shit. Now, again, I'm more than confident that most of these kids who are into this red pill shit are just going to grow out of it, like the anti SJW shit. But still, it's really concerning that we do have a lot of kids who are really into the red pill shit, really into these far right talking points. because again, this is something that I haven't seen before. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, throughout you know, throughout the throughout the entire internet's existence, I'm sure there's always been fringe cases of children being far right, but now it's starting to become a little bit more mainstream, and that's kind of concerning among kids. I mean, Starfield is an okay game, but it can get boring at times. I don't have much interest in Starfield because one, I play on PlayStation. Microsoft acquired Bethesda, so Starfield is an Xbox and PC exclusive. I'm streaming this from a Mac, by the way, so I don't have Windows. So I can't play Starfield on my computer either. Not like I have much of an interest because two, I don't care about Bethesda games. I like Doom, but that's not actually made by Bethesda. Bethesda just publishes it. But I played Fallout 4 a few years ago. I really didn't care for it that much. And I know Bethesda, a lot of Bethesda games are like that game. So I'm just not really into Bethesda all that much. Again, Doom is a big exception, but that's made by id, not Bethesda. Again, Bethesda just owns whatever, you know. You already know. When I was 10, I didn't even know who Trump was. Really? Wow. I figured, Trump is even when you were 10, Trump was so ubiquitous to the point where everyone knew who he was, even if, they didn't like him, of course. My first exposure to Andrew Tate was in 2017 when he said depression isn't real, and that's when I knew he was terrible. That was my first exposure to Andrew Tate as well. I remember some leftist in Finland, or Undertaker freak, as he was known back then, was getting talked about that in a live stream, and he was pissed. Probably the angriest I've ever seen him, and that was great. I wish someone clipped that. But, that's probably lost to time, I'd imagine. Same with all of his other live streams. But yeah, that was my first exposure to Andrew Tate, and then I just kind of forgot about him until last year when he gained a whole lot of relevancy. I think I first heard about Trump when I was 11 or 12. I knew about Trump when I was like 5 because of his stupid apprentice show where he would, say you're fired to people when they get eliminated off the show. I think one of my uncles liked watching that show back when I was a little kid, and whenever I would get mad as a kid, I would say you're fired, mimicking what Trump would say on that show. So that was my first exposure to Trump. Lost media, yeah. UTF lost media. Unfortunately, a lot of his videos, I'm sure, lost media. He had over what 1,500 videos before he deleted his channel. Well, actually, no, he deleted a whole bunch of videos before even deleting the channel. But yeah, there's probably like quite a few videos you're never gonna see again. That makes me sad. Especially the streams, yeah. Especially that moment in his stream where he was just tearing into Andrew Tate, saying depression isn't real. That was genuinely one of my favorite moments on his entire channel. Again, one of his angriest moments on the channel too, if I remember correctly. He was just going off, and I would kill to see that clip again. I wish he clipped it, uploaded a clip of that on his channel, 'cause that was a great rant. I'm not American, so maybe that's why. Yeah, true. Probably not. He probably before becoming president, at least, I'm sure he wasn't exactly a household name in, other countries. My first exposure to Trump was seeing him in Home Alone 2 because he owned the pizza Plaza Hotel. As you could tell, I'm hungry, in NYC at the time the movie was made. Yeah, I forgot he was in Home Alone 2. That was probably I liked Home Alone 2 as a kid. I know a lot of people don't like that movie, but I liked it as a kid, and, I forgot Trump was in that movie, so that might have been my first exposure to him, maybe. What was your best experience you've had from smoking weed? This is like Stoner 101, but, I don't care. Um, I got really high at a party once and, put on my headphones, I put on Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, and the house I was at where this party took place had a hammock in the backyard, so I was laying down on that, listening to the album while I was high out of my mind, and it was such a great experience. I'm not gonna say Pink Floyd is better when you're high because that's bullshit. They're a great band regardless if you're high or sober, but that was truly a magical experience. Again, I know that is such a stereotype listening to Pink Floyd, being a stoner and such, getting high and listening to Pink Floyd, but I don't care. That was a great experience. Alright, I'm gonna head out now. See ya. Hope you had fun. Have you ever tried smoking gas station weed? I don't think I would buy weed at a gas station. I mostly just buy it all I buy it off friends who I trust. You gotta leave in 30 minutes? Well, that's unfortunate. You're usually the most active in these streams. But yeah, when I get weed, I just get them off friends because again, I trust them to not give me weed that could potentially be laced with, something far more dangerous. Every time I see a porta potty, I get this urge to tip it over and have fun, or, tip it over for fun. There's some porta potties, on the hill right behind my house because there's been construction going on the street behind my house for a long time, the last, like, 2 years, I think. I don't think I've ever been in a porta potty, never needed to go into a porta potty. So I just see those sitting around, and I don't know, they're just there, I don't pay any mind to them. Have to charge my computer. Forgot to charge it before, before I started this stream, or more specifically, I forgot to charge it overnight, so the battery was already halfway drained before I started this stream. During live streams really, wears down the battery on this thing. I've had this Mac for a few years now, I got it back in 2019, so this is a 2019 MacBook Pro. The battery is starting to drain really quickly. Well, not really, really quickly, but it depends on what I'm doing on the computer. But, if I'm doing something like, if I'm, like, say, doing a live stream or making a video, that usually, um, wears down on the battery quite a bit. You once did that while high. Tip over a porta potty? Well, hopefully no one was in the porta potty. That would, not be good. I certainly wouldn't wanna be taking a shit in a porta potty and then all of a sudden someone tips it over. You're one of my go-to live streamers to go you're one of my go-to live streams to go to other than this other weed channel called Maple Syrup Nugs. Well, thank you. Um, yeah, some people do enjoy these streams. Not many people evidently, but, some people do, and they're fun to do, so, um, gonna keep doing them every month 'cause, I don't have the energy to do these, like, all the time or anything like that. I say that like I do streams that require a high energy when obviously they're not. I mean, fuck, I'm laying down in bed while doing this, and I lay down in bed in all of these streams. But, I used to do weekly streams way back, like 2017 and 2018. Whenever I'd be on summer vacation, I would do streams every Friday, but I honestly, I didn't enjoy doing that. I mean, I did enjoy live streaming, but just not that on that just not on a frequent basis like that, because there would be times Friday would come up during my summer vacation, and I'd be like, "Gotta do a stream now," even though I really didn't feel like it. But, doing these streams on a monthly basis is a lot better because, enjoy doing them. I enjoy doing live streams, but not that frequently. Again, I don't understand the people who do live streams, like, every day. I do, like, 12-hour live streams every fucking day. That is just beyond me. I mean, good for them. I'm not shit talking people who do live streams for a living and they're able to being fun of us, be live streaming all day like that every day, but that is not my thing at all. Even when we hit the, like, I don't know, hour and 30-minute mark, I'm already kinda spent, and I'm like, "Yeah, just another half hour of doing this, I'm done." Don't worry, no one was inside, I was walking out in the hood at 3 AM. Okay. Wasn't worrying that much though, but, still a funny thought if you were to tip over a porta potty with someone in it. Well, maybe it wouldn't be funny for the person inside, but still funny to me regardless. I'm not the type to really walk outside at 3 AM though, not even in just the hood, but anywhere, even my own neighborhood. Like, sometimes, there are times at 3 AM where I'd go out and bring in some groceries that we didn't bring in earlier, and even that kinda spooks me out. Outside for, like, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute at most, going to the car and taking shit out of the trunk, and then going back in immediately. Even that's kinda hard on me because I'm not a fan of being outside that late in the evening. I'm already not a big fan of going outside in general, yeah, big surprise. No, I'm mostly kidding. But no, that was half a joke, I'm a pretty big shut-in. I'm gonna take another hit soon. I'm smoking hashish right now. It's concentrated THC. Well, have fun with that. It's been a minute since I've been high. Well, it's not like I really wanna be high all the time, though. Not like a full-time stoner or anything. It's more like a social gathering kinda thing for me. kind of in the same vein as soda, even though I don't like soda at all, but, I don't drink it on my own. It's usually when it's offered, I'll drink it at, like, a party or something or any kind of social event, though I don't really wanna compare weed to soda. Soda is, much worse for you. I never got the whole, like, argument between people who, like either Coke, Pepsi, because to me, it's always the same shit, same carbonated garbage. Like, some people think I'm so crazy for not liking soda at all, but I just never have, and I probably never will, but that's probably a good thing, right? Because soda's terrible for, like, your teeth especially, and I know some people who drink soda, like, fucking religiously, but again, I just find the whole fucking soda war to be really, really stupid. I mean, 1, you're arguing over a fucking over drinks, okay? And 2, again, it's always been the same shit to me because I don't drink soda often at all, so, I don't drink Coke or Pepsi so often to the point where I immediately can tell the difference between the 2 drinks. So not really much a hood. What, my neighborhood or yours? I usually get a Tim Hortons coffee, before work, every time before work. Yeah, there's no Tim Hortons by me. Tim Hortons is more I know there's some Tim Hortons, places in, here in, the States, but, I know Tim Hortons is more of a Canadian, chain, right? Coffee is something else I don't really drink. I mean, I tolerate coffee more than I tolerate soda, but, it's not really my choice of beverage. What I drink often is orange juice. I've said this before, I'm pretty sure. I like orange juice. I like water too, I'm very basic like that. It's either orange juice or water for me. I remember my mom telling me this story, when she was pregnant with me. One of her cravings was oranges, so that's probably where my, love for orange juice came from. I wouldn't be surprised if a 10-year-old who drinks 5 cans of pop every single day is more unhealthy than a 10-year-old who smokes pot every few days. Probably yeah, the 10-year-old that drinks soda habitually would be more unhealthy. I don't know if you should necessarily give a 10-year-old a joint, but, I don't think that would harm them as much as soda would. I usually drink water or milk or pop. Yeah, I know you call it pop up there. Same thing with where my father is. Well, he lives right by the Canadian border, but, nah, he tells me that, whenever he says soda, because soda is a lot more common of a saying down here than it is where he is, he would, when referring to soda, he would say, "Well, soda," and then other people would, get kinda bent at him for saying soda because they call it pop up there. They view soda as kind of like this bougie word that, upper class people say. When really anyone down here says it, doesn't really matter when it comes to class, I think, but, Yeah, it's kind of weird seeing people refer to pop as soda when I'm so used to hearing soda in place of pop. But there's people in other places that think saying soda is weird. Obviously, like where my father is. So vernacular can be different depending on where you're at. Okay, I'm taking a hit now. Cheers. Have fun. I'm sure you're high out of your mind right now. My favorite pop is specifically McDonald's Sprite and Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I don't drink Mountain Dew or Sprite either. In some parts of the South, all soft drinks are called Coke. Oh, yeah, I heard of that too. That must get confusing though. Like, if you want a if you're referring to a specific brand of soda that's not Coke, at least to people who are not, native to the area where people call everything Coke. An outsider might think, "Oh, you're talking about actual Coke, right? Coca-Cola." No, I'm talking about this specific brand of soda. But I thought you were referring to Coke because you were saying Coke. No, it's weird how, again, or not weird, but fascinating how, uh, depending on the area you're in, how different the vernacular can be for certain things. In Canada, we call soda pop. I can tell. Same thing with upstate New York, where my father is, right by Canada. He says everyone calls soda pop, but he just said that. I live closer to the West Coast than the East Coast. I see. I've never been on the West Coast in this country, and I don't know if I ever will be on the West Coast because I don't think I know anyone who lives on the West Coast. Well, in real life, I don't. I don't know about the internet, so I have no reason to ever go there. The farthest I've ever been away from home was going to Florida a few years ago. I very rarely ever go really far from this house. Never more than like, I don't know, 5 miles away from this house. That's about as far away as my college is. Well, maybe not that far, maybe a little closer than that. But my college, if I'm being dropped off, like if my mom is dropping me off, which is where I usually take public transportation to college. But if she's dropping me off, like maybe she doesn't have a work on a specific day, it's usually like a 20-minute drive from this house to my college. Yeah, that's usually the farthest I go from this house because I don't really go to much places besides like school or like the store or the occasional meeting up with friends. But all my friends live, well, most of my friends at least live near my house. So I never have to go very I don't know. I've never really been one to travel that much. Again, outside of going to Florida to see my grandmother a few years ago, that's the farthest I've ever been away from home, but, just have a lot of, I guess, I don't know, anxiety when it comes to, going very far away from home because I've been in this house since I was born, never moved. Again, I never travel far. So going to Florida was a really wild experience for me. Um, I don't think I mentioned this when I was in Florida, but, I had a lot of this I had a lot of fucking anxiety being there because, it was such a new experience for me because that was my first time ever traveling, by plane. Yeah, I've never been in a plane before age 20. Crazy, I know, but, yeah, I mean, after a few days, my nerves started to calm down a bit, but, no, all those new experiences for me being in a different state. Well, I have traveled to different states before, mainly to Jersey because, like, I have an uncle who lives there, but it's been years. Um, but, no, it was just, a lot of newness for me, which, made my anxiety go kind of all out of whack. Same thing when my house got renovated a few years ago. I didn't mention a lot of anxiety surrounding my house getting renovated because a lot of people online were like, "Oh, cool, your house is getting renovated," so I just kinda acted like I was all cool with it, and, I wasn't feeling any anxiety surrounding that, but no, I was. I maybe it's a byproduct of my autism too, but, I just really can't handle change all that well. I mean, my my nerves go out of whack when we get new furniture. Mm, it's a whole different thing when the entire downstairs of the house is completely different than it was for my entire life. Where did this tangent come from again? I've been rambling about this for like 5 minutes, but I forget what even brought this about. Whatever, I like going on tangents anyway. It's better than just sitting and waiting for someone else to type something. I've never been on the East Coast of America. I've been to Phoenix, Arizona, and Blaine, Washington. I've only ever been on the East Coast because that's Florida on the East Coast. So I've never been to, like, Middle America or the West or. Again, I don't know if I'll ever go to the West 'cause I don't really have much of a reason to go there. Again, I have no family or anything there, no one to visit. I know people who have been to the West, but they have family there or just friends they know there that they visited before, but, not anyone who actually I don't know anyone who actually lives there. I probably know some people online who live there, but I never ask people where the fuck they live, it's none of my business, so I wouldn't know. I know some people who live in the South, and to those people, my condolences. Oh, hello, Tame, how are you doing? I don't blame you, Florida sucks. Yeah, well, I was only there for a week, so I didn't have to spend too much time in Florida, but yeah, Florida, politically speaking, is fucking horrible. Also, just in general, Florida is pretty bad. The extreme weather down there, hurricanes and shit, yeah, I mean, not to say NYC is prone to hurricanes, we're sorta on average. So, yeah, not even just in a political sense, I don't like Florida, just in general. Florida's not a place that I would live in. It felt weird being in America as a Canadian for some reason. I remember this kid was talking to me at an arcade in Arizona, and he never knew he was talking to a Canadian. Well, yeah, unless something like the accent is, super obvious or anything of the sort. I don't know if I'd really know I'm speaking to a Canadian either if I were to speak to a Canadian face to face and they wouldn't outright tell me they're a Canadian. Maybe if they, like, accidentally bumped into me and they said, "I'm sorry," then yeah, that would be a that would be an indicator, but, no, I don't maybe I have interacted with Canadians face to face before, but I just didn't know. You have mild autism like me, right? Yep. Well, I guess you can call it mild. What I have is high functioning autism, which has still been hell when it comes to like social interactions and such. I've already talked about this to ad nauseum, but fuck it, I'll talk about it again for a little bit. You know, suffer really bad anxiety. Um, Social interactions have always been hard. So, as a byproduct of that, most of my friends are online. Again, I do have some real life friends, but the bulk of people I talk to is on my phone or on my computer. And I've never people who I've never interacted with outside of my phone and computer. That's what I mean. But I've come to grips with that. I don't hate the fact that most of the people I talk to are online. Some people say that the online friends are not real friends because there's a likelihood you're never gonna see them face to face, and I'm like, "Fuck that shit." You can still form a connection with someone, even if you've only ever interacted with them through the internet. It's not fucking 1991 anymore. You can form relationships with people even if you've never actually seen them. Now, when it comes to online dating, that's a little bit different. I'm not against online dating or anything if you actually know who the fuck it is you're talking to, but, when it comes to more intimate relationships like that, I can at least understand the sentiment a little bit more. When it comes to more serious relationships like that, I think it is kind of important to know who exactly you're talking to, like, what they look like, how they sound like, and such, because you could easily get, catfished and shit. But, in general, like, online friendships, I just say poo-poo to whoever, talks down to people who, likes forming friendships online. Like, good for you. All of your friends are people you interact with in person. I'm happy for you. Doesn't mean I have to doesn't mean I have to follow your example or, that doesn't mean that, online friendships are any less valid. There's people who I've been talking to for fucking years, who I've only ever spoken to online and will probably never meet in person. There's some people I've been talking to for, like, 10 years or almost 10 years who I'm never gonna fucking see in person, more than likely. The only states I've been to are South Carolina and Florida. I've been to New Jersey, Connecticut. I have some cousins over in Connecticut and Florida. Yeah, that's about it. Again, I don't really know anyone outside of those states, or at least anyone in my personal life outside of those states. So yeah, I don't know if I'll ever really travel to any other states. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'd necessarily be opposed to ever seeing an online friend in real life if the opportunity ever arises. I don't know if I would go to them because I fucking hate travel. I don't know if anyone online ever finds themselves in NYC. Maybe I'd see them. I don't know. I have a friend on Snapchat that I've talked to frequently from Myrtle Beach, Carolina. That's cool. I live I live above the damn state. Fuck my life. Yeah, you're in Alabama. Jesus, what the fuck is that like? Ala fucking Bama. Sweet home. No, I won't sing that fucking song. I don't even really listen to much Skinner. I mean, I like Freebird and Simple Man, but outside of, like, a select few hit songs, I don't listen to Skinner. I know a lot of people fucking hate Leonard Skinner. I mean, probably for good reason, they're but, like, I enjoy, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 of their songs, and no, that doesn't include Sweet Home Alabama. I don't have a passionate hatred for that song, but I just don't really care for that song, especially since it's about one of the worst states in this fucking country. Sorry, Tame, but that's yeah. He is another stoner like me, and he's almost the same age as me. Nice. Hopefully someday you 2 can, enjoy a bong together or some shit. There's a few things that help make up for living in Texas. Like what? I mean, I don't know. How bad is Texas? I know politically Texas is terrible, but, like, what's day-to-day life like in Texas? The humidity. Oh, yeah, the humidity in Florida. The humidity all in all, when I went down to Florida, wasn't that bad, but there was one day where it was really fucking bad, and I spent most of that day inside. When I was in Florida, I didn't do shit like go to Disney World or anything like that. I mean, my grandmother doesn't even live by Disney World. I didn't, like, see any of the big, like, tourist attractions. I just mostly we just mostly did our own thing, you know? Mm. We went out a lot, but mostly to, like, local places, like restaurants and such. Went to a park, got to enjoy the beach one day too. That was a really nice beach, actually. You know, we did shit like that. I would never fucking go to Disney World. Sounds like fucking hell on earth. All those fucking people in one space, waiting for, like, 2 hours for one fucking ride. No, thank you. No, thank you. I never really got I never really got the admiration so many people have for Disney World. I mean, I probably shouldn't knock it till I try it, right? But no, that doesn't sound appealing to me at all. Again, like, an amusement park like that where people are, like, packed in like sardines, and again, you gotta wait, like, 2 hours on a line for one ride, usually. That's not my thing at all. I'm not opposed to going to amusement parks, but not one that's that fucking, congested. I mean, I've been to, Coney Island. Coney Island was pretty nice. I went on the one last time I've been to Coney Island was 2016, I think. I went on one ride. What the fuck was it called? Thunder something? Thunderbolt, Coney Island. Yeah, that was a fun ride. Oh, wait, no, not the Thunderbolt. That's a ride that was closed down. Something that was oh, no, it is the Thunderbolt. There's a new one, I forgot. Yeah, the only time I've ever been on a roller coaster. a boot. Hmm. I'm gonna take another hit and then I gotta go. Peace out, Mikey. See ya, bother me none, or Bong Milker. Glad to have you here. It's fun having you here. I have no real life friends, lol. Yeah, same. Fellow member of the Loner Club. I mean, again, I don't exactly hate. Well, I'm not a fan of being a loner, but I don't exactly hate it either. I've just come to accept that the bulk of my friendships are probably gonna always be online, and I'm fine with that. Again, like I fucking hate the people who are like, "Oh, your online friends are not real friends because you're never gonna see them in real life." I don't fucking care. Again, you can still form connections with people online. You're still interacting with other people. Would I prefer to interact with people face to face? Sure. It's always nice actually speaking to someone face to face, but I just have very horrid anxiety, so it's easier for me to talk with someone like through text as opposed to speaking to them face to face. I have really bad eye contact and I don't find myself in a whole lot of social situations. And yes, I know that is largely my fault. I should put myself out there more. Yada yada yada. But just on average, I feel more comfortable talking to people online. Same thing with real life friends. A lot of my real life friends I don't meet up with a whole lot, so I just text them on like, you know, usually on the default text messaging app that comes with their iPhone. I also have an Instagram that a lot of my real life friends are on, so I have that too. Anyone else feel really awkward when you're fucking using FaceTime? I don't even use FaceTime, but no, I don't like using that shit either. Don't really mind it though. Yeah, again, same. Hell is what it's like living in Alabama. Yeah, I'd imagine. I hope if you really do hate it down there, I hope you get out of there someday. Yo, a fellow stoner. Yep, the bother me none guy. Gets high a lot. Always posting videos of him getting high on my server. I don't mind it though. I'm under a frost advisory right now. It's going to be freezing tonight. Oh, stay warm. Last night went down to the 30s, I think. Really erratic weather NYC has been having lately. Just last Saturday was 80 degrees or 82 even, I think. Summer weather, and it was the end of fucking October. Um, same thing happened at the beginning of October last month. I think what, October 2nd, 3rd, it hit 80 degrees. Like what the fuck? Well, today is more in line with how oh no, even today it's kind of warm. 54 degrees it says right there on top of the screen on my Mac. I mean, that's not hot, hot, of course, or not even cold either. That's just more, um, I don't know, neutral. Though I don't really have a problem when it's 50 something degrees out because, like I said, that's more neutral kind of weather. Not too hot, not too cold, that perfect balance, as all things should be. But yeah, the weather has been really fucking weird here in NYC. Thank you, climate change. A lot of flooding, like I'm sure a lot of you heard to ad nauseum from me. Like just I don't know, a month and a half ago, NYC got a severe rain, severe rainfall. Like there's some wild videos on Twitter uh, of that day where streets got completely flooded, like a fucking river. Like these streets were built under a fucking river. Uh, Subways got completely flooded. You saw people actually going in the fucking subways and walking around in that filthy water, which, I mean, I won't knock them. They probably had to go home or even go to their jobs depending on what time of the day it was, or maybe they had a late night job they had to go to, you know? It's just overall really severe weather we've been having. Though we haven't had severe rainfall in a while, though. Like, it's been about a month, I think. Like, sometimes I get weather alerts saying, uh, severe, weather alert, flooding, a flood advisor or whatever, and, that usually amounts to nothing. That pisses me off, though. Well, more so before my uncle moved back in with us, which, if you don't know, I have an uncle that lives down in the basement. He lives in a room in the basement that, that's flooded a lot when the rain when we get a lot of rain, and, he wasn't living with us for a little while. I'm not gonna go into why. It's none of your business, especially not the business of people watching a public YouTube live stream, but, things happened. He couldn't live with us for a while. He was staying with our uncle in Jersey for a little while, so he wasn't down there to watch over the basement, which is his room. So I had to go down there every time we got a flood advisory. I had to go down there, stay down there, um, overnight to check if to check if any water would come in. That wasn't fun. That wasn't fun. And but thankfully the basement hasn't flooded since I think August. Pretty sure that was the last time it flooded. I would say I hope it never floods again, but it will flood again. Oh well. Acapulco in Mexico was hit by a major hurricane recently. That's bad. That's probably an understatement, but, I don't think I heard about that. Yeah, hurricanes are something else I fucking hate. The last major hurricane NYC got was Ida in, 2021. Yeah, 2 years ago. It was September of '21. Ida hit NYC, right? I think. Yeah, that was bad. That was the first time I had to go down to my basement and pick up water, because before that, the last time my basement flooded, I was a little kid, so I couldn't help. I think the last no, before that, the last time the basement had water in it was, it wasn't Hurricane Sandy, it was a hurricane that hit, I think, the year before in 2011, I believe. Yeah, 2011, because, the 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 old man that used to live with us, his name was Joe. He was someone I never had an actual grandfather because both of my grandfathers passed away before I was even born, so he was the closest thing I had to a grandfather, um, and this man I'm referencing, Joe, who was the closest thing I had to a grandfather, passed away in 2012, and he was still alive when this hurricane happened, so it was 2011. He was living with us in 2011. Um, he tried to help out, and he was already 80 years old. His body got worn out pretty quickly, so he had to sit on the couch, and, well, my grandmother and the rest of my family were, picking up water from the basement. But, yeah, I couldn't help either because I was a little kid, so I was just kind of, sitting on the staircase, leading down to the basement watching them. Yeah, the first time I had to actually help out was 2 years ago, and ever since then, I've had to my basement has been flooding periodically, and I've had to go down there and help. The last time in August when, my basement flooded, my uncle was down there with me for, like, uh, an hour. The basement started flooding at, like, 2 in the morning, so he was down there with me until, like, 3, and he was like, "Okay, I'm tired, you handle the rest." I'm like, "Shit." There was still a lot of water, so I had to stay down there with a water vacuum and pick up all the shit, and, if none of you seen my, video where I show off my basement and, show off the vacuum, we use, the vacuum has a bucket. You gotta release the hinges and then take out the bucket, which is a heavy fucking bucket because it's filled to the brim with water. So I gotta carry that to the, thankfully, there's a bathroom down there. My uncle has his own bathroom right there in the basement. Um, so I had to carry that into the bathroom, dump it into the shower, and had to do that, and then, put the, bucket back in the thing, put the hinges back on, or snap the hinges back in place, I mean, and then do that over and over again for, like, another 2 hours, and then there was finally, not enough water to justify using that anymore, so what I was doing was, wiping the floor down with my foot, walking around with a towel. That was miserable, but I got it done. When I was done, there was not a single drop of water on the floor, so I'm proud of myself for that, even though the whole process was fucking hell, but, whatever. So how are all 5 people watching the stream doing? My tangent is over. I don't feel like sitting around in silence. It's starting to get kinda dark. Well, not dark, dark, but, yeah, the sun is definitely setting right now. Again, I don't mind it when it gets dark early. Everyone else I've ever interacted with hates it when it gets dark early, and for valid reason. I'm not saying, like, people who don't like it when it gets dark early have no valid reason to not like that, or, you know, but, I've always liked it because I've always preferred the night over the day. I'm more prone to being depressed during the day than I am at night, probably because I associate the night with calmness, there's not many people out. Like, my house is dead silent during the night because I'm the only one awake, so the night is kinda like my sanctuary. Learning how to no damage the cabin part in RE4. Original or remake? Um, I don't think I've ever no damaged the cabin and, well, definitely not the remake. Holy shit, that part gets really hectic in the remake, but, the original, no. I don't think I've ever no damaged the cabin part. Original, yeah. It's nice to see people still playing the original even after the remake is out. I love the remake, masterpiece, my game of the year personally, but, the original is still, the GOAT for me. Yeah, the cabin part in the remake is crazy though, since it's a you get swarmed, you get surrounded by even more enemies in the remake than you do in the original in that part. Even though I love the cabin part in the original, I do think I prefer the cabin part in the remake because of how hectic it gets. But again, overall, I like the original more. The original just oozes with a lot of charm. That's mainly why I prefer it. It's funny. I mean, not to say the remake has no charm either. There's definitely charm in it. Leon's still cracking his one-liners, but it definitely takes itself a lot more seriously than the original, which is fine. I'm fine with the remake veering in a different direction, giving a fresh take on the story. But I do like the charm the original has. Takes itself way less seriously. It kind of knows what it is, an over-the-top action shooter. The game never wastes an opportunity to laugh at itself. Original holds so much nostalgia for me. For me, it's not even nostalgia because I first played the original in 2020. I was 19. Only 3 years ago, I played the original for the first time. But it's since become my favorite game of all time. I know that's a really cold take. RE4 is your favorite Resident Evil game, but I don't care. Even though when it comes to like styles of RE games in general, I'd say my favorite era of Resident Evil was the fixed camera era. It's been really annoying though. Discourse I've seen surrounding the original. I've seen a lot of people say the original is so unplayable these days because of the tank controls. I mean, yes, the controls are a little unconventional and perhaps a little dated by today's standards, of course. I mean, play a modern third-person shooter, or hell, even play the remake and then play the original back to back. I mean, oh, for me personally, going back to the original is like second nature because I played it so much. But your average player is probably going to take a little getting used to with the controls. But I never found them that bad. People act like the original is like this unplayable piece of shit in 2023 when it's not. I personally find again, yeah, sure, it doesn't control as smoothly as a modern game. No shit, the game came out in 2005, but I don't know. I've never had much of an issue with the game's controls personally. I was 12 when I first played RE4. I was 19, like I said before. I've only played both the GameCube and PlayStation versions. Well, more specifically, the PS4 version of the original, the port. What's it called? Ultimate HD edition or whatever. I should play professional on my PlayStation. Though. I've beaten professional twice on my GameCube. I should try a professional run on PlayStation one of these days. I don't know about a no damage run on professional. That's kind of fucking wild. I don't know if I'd be able to do that, but yeah, I've had enough trouble with just playing professional normally, especially that first run when have all the base weapons not upgraded and shit. Because I'm so used to just plowing through that game. New Game Plus with all of my fully upgraded end game weapons. Yeah, Resident Evil 4, the original and the remake, but more so the original is one of those games I'm never gonna get tired of playing. I've no shit played that game over 30 times at this point, and it's still incredibly fun to play. There used to be a Nicktoons game called, Volcano Island that I would play relentlessly as a kid. My father got really fucking tired of me playing that game because a lot of the times it was a two-player co-op game, and me and him would play it a lot, and immediately when we would beat the game, I'd be like, "Let's do that again." My father's like, "You're not fucking sick of this game?" And I'm like, "No." I play that game now. I played it again, well, not all the way through, but certain levels a few months ago, and I I don't like the game now, but I'm not gonna sell it. 1, a lot of nostalgia surrounding that game, and 2, it's not worth shit, so not even worth selling. But, that game, when I was a kid, I played that relentlessly, and I thought that was a kid thing. I thought I would never find another game again as an adult that I would play relentlessly over and over again and never get sick of, but I guess, that never died within me because Resident Evil 4 is now that game for me, but unlike that Nicktoons game, Resident Evil 4 is legitimately a great game. I'm doing a minimalist professional no damage run on original RE4, so it's even more difficult, I guess. I've heard the remake is more difficult than the original. Well, it definitely is more difficult than the original. Even on normal mode, I had more trouble in certain areas than I did in the original. But I know what you mean. A minimalist run on either version, I'm sure, is really fucking difficult. I should probably try that. I should probably try getting S plus and professional on the remake one of these days. That's the only way you get infinite ammo in the game. Usually, video games kinda if you rack up enough points in the game, you can buy, infinite ammo with the points you rack up, but, not in Resident Evil 4, you gotta earn that shit, and I kinda respect that, but the way you get infinite ammo in RE4 Remake, you gotta beat the entire game in professional mode in under, I think, 5 hours and 30 minutes, which is fucking insane because the Resident Evil 4 remake isn't that long of a game, but it's still a pretty lengthy game by Resident Evil standards. So, fuck. But I would really like to have infinite ammo, though. It would make casual runs of the remake even more fun for me because obviously I wouldn't have to worry about crafting ammo. Can't buy it from the merchant either. I know in the original, the same guy who, voices who voices Leon is also the guy that voices the merchant. I kinda wish they brought him back to reprise the merchant role. Well, uh, Leon in the original Resident Evil 4 is always going to be what I think of when I think of Leon as a character. Just everything about original Leon in the original RE4 is perfect. The voice, the appearance. But I do kinda wish they brought the guy back for the merchant. I mean, I don't hate the new merchant's voice or anything, but I just prefer the old voice. And it would be a cool symbolic thing too, like the spirit of OG RE4 Leon helping out new Leon in the new game. I don't know. I played Resident Evil 4 original just a little over a month ago, I think, on my GameCube. That's just the version I prefer. The game feels a lot more natural on a GameCube controller. I mean, that's probably a no shit statement though, because the game was literally made for the GameCube, so it was made with the GameCube controller specifically in mind. It's hard to believe that game was originally a GameCube exclusive, though, since it's been on every platform known to man ever since. It's only exclusive to the GameCube for, like, 2 seconds. I'm actually currently in the middle of playing Resident Evil Zero. A lot of people hate that game. I like it, but I can understand the hate. No item box is kind of fucking miserable, especially when you make it to a new area. You gotta go back to the area previous and pick up your items, bring it to the new area, rinse and repeat until you got all of the items you wanna bring over. Yeah, yeah. What's up, EcoPunk? How you doing? Oh, wow. We're already at the 1 hour and 41-minute mark, 42-minute mark now, so yeah, 2 hours and 5 minutes is usually when I end these. I think I ended the previous stream a little later, though, because I got such a influx of, messages in the chat that I wanted to read. I know I could have just ended the stream, but, I like reading chat messages, and I didn't wanna leave all those chat messages unread. You're alright? That's good to hear. I'm doing pretty decent myself. It's a beautiful day today, but, I spent that day just well, I was sleeping until, like, 2 in the afternoon, and then I ate breakfast, and then I did this stream. That's the basis of most of my days, though. Sleep until late in the afternoon, eat breakfast, and then just kinda laze around for the rest of the day. Either that or go to class, which is the case on, Mondays and Wednesdays. I still really like being a night owl, speaking of that. I, really enjoy being awake at ungodly hours of the night. Just have always been. Even when I was a kid, I would always well, not always, but I would have trouble on certain nights going to sleep early because I just wouldn't feel tired at all. Like, it would be a when I was a kid, my bedtime was, like, 9:30, 10, and I would almost never actually go to sleep at that time. It'd always take me a while to actually fall asleep because I would be like, "I wanna stay up later. I don't wanna go to sleep at this time because I'm not tired yet." And then when I was, when I hit my teen years, I especially had trouble going to sleep that early. Well, I didn't have a bedtime anymore, but I would always make sure I'd be in bed by, like, I don't know, 10:30, but I wouldn't actually fall asleep until, like, fucking 1 or 2 in the morning, which was hell because I would have to wake up just a few hours later at 6 in the morning, for, wake up for, school. I should turn on the light, hang on. There we go. Got really dark. Let me change my position too. Ugh, got really uncomfortable laying in my stomach for almost 2 hours now. Fuck. But yeah, yeah, I've just always, enjoyed staying up really late at night. Got the whole house to myself in those wee hours of the morning. But yeah, waking up for high school was always miserable because I would always just I would always go to sleep at like I don't know 4 hours before I would have to wake up, so I'd only get like I don't know a little less than 4 hours of sleep. So that wasn't fun. Waking up was always really brutal because I would always feel like I'm half dead. Mhm. You ever get fidgety? Oh, what well, I don't know. Does shaking my leg relentlessly get constitute as fidgety? Because I do that a lot, especially if I'm, like, sitting in a classroom for an extended period of time. That's something I always tend to do when I'm in a classroom. My especially if it's a really long class, like my Monday class, for example. My Monday class officially starts at 5:30, 5 in the afternoon to 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night. So we don't usually stay all the way until 8:30. We get out usually like a half hour before class officially ends, but that is still 3 hours of sitting in a classroom. Now granted, we do get a small break in the middle of the class, but that's only like, I don't know, a 15-minute break. But I just get so tired of sitting sitting at a desk for so long, and then I start shaking my leg relentlessly because I just feel like I just need to burst out of my seat, so shaking my leg just provides a little bit of relief. So when we do have that, 15-minute break in the middle of class, I usually spend that 15 minutes, walking out in the hallway, sometimes even going downstairs and, walking around, walking down the stairs usually helps release some of that energy or really gives me energy rather, because that also helps with my, with the fatigue I usually feel during really long classes. Are fraternities or other extracurricular activities worth it in college? I wouldn't know because I don't participate in any of that. Have you seen the new F&AF movie? I have not, and I have no inclination to because I don't play the games, like I said earlier in this stream. Well, you weren't there, so but, I played the first game once when I was, like, 13, around the time the game came out, when it was a big internet sensation, or a big fad rather, and, I didn't like it that much. I wanted to see what all the hype was about, and I played it, and I couldn't get it. I didn't find the game that particularly scary or that fun, so I just kinda never played it again. But the franchise has been able to maintain relevancy for almost 10 years at this point, miraculously. I can't say anything about any of the sequels, though, because I haven't played any of them, and again, I have no interest to. So therefore, the movie is not for me, nothing I'm particularly interested in. I remember you made a video about Minecraft, FNAF, and Undertale fanboys. Yeah, I remember all 3 of those videos, or more rather. I think I only ever made 1 video about Minecraft, and it was some stupid video where I was scrolling through a Miiverse argument, me and some other people who I probably haven't spoken to in years were having with, some kid that liked Minecraft. And FNAF, I made quite a few videos against FNAF and people who like FNAF, and these days I can't give a shit less. Same thing with Undertale. Well, in Undertale's case, I did play that game finally a few years ago, and I actually did enjoy Undertale. But, these days, the whole fan bashing thing, yeah, it's probably something I'll never do again because let people enjoy what they enjoy, you know? There's toxic people within every fan base, and, there's not really worth it to put a microscope on, the toxic people within certain fan bases because, again, that's every fan base and it's not reflective of everyone in a fan base. I mean, I always did preface a lot of these fan base bashing videos with with me saying that I don't think this is representative of the entire fan base I'm talking about as a whole. I'm just shedding a spotlight on certain toxic individuals within a fan base. But even saying that at the beginning of all those videos or most of those videos, I think I still did contribute to a toxic culture because people would probably some of those videos got like over 10,000 views too. So I'm sure some of those people used those videos. Some people used those videos as justification to relentlessly harass or bash on people for liking a certain game or a certain thing because, they would lump regular fans of a certain thing with the toxic individuals within the fan base. Undertale is good. Yeah, I enjoyed Undertale. Thinking of buying it again for my PlayStation. The first time I played it was on the Switch. I already figured I was going to like Undertale going in though because the Undertale is heavily inspired by the Mother games. I mean, of course, it's not, the gameplay isn't identical to playing a Mother game. It's quite a bit different, but, like, story-wise, I mean, a lot of other things, you can tell the influence came from the Mother series, which is one of my favorite game franchises of all time, Mother, so I knew I would enjoy Undertale. What videos do you regret? I'll tell you a video I really regret that I watched recently because I have it saved in, Google Photos. And sometimes Google Photos likes to do these spotlight things where it reminds you of old pictures and videos you've taken. But recently it reminded me of a video I made against a YouTuber called Superwoman. And if you remember that YouTuber, she made a video. What was the video about? She made a video about I think people like using about I think a video about disparaging stereotypes against Indian people, or or people mistaking or people saying that all Muslims in general or Middle Eastern. I think it was people mistaking or white people rather um, lumping in Indians, Pakistanis, and Middle Easterns in general in the same group when they're not within the same group, unfairly generalizing or categorizing people in a certain group because ignorant white people just are like, oh, they all look the same, so they're all part of the same ethnicity, right? And I made a stupid video response to that, pretty racist video response to that, where the video literally starts off with like a little montage of her um spliced in with, like, clips of ISIS and shit, and that was really bad. I'm thinking of making a video about that someday, maybe. Because a lot of my videos back then, were edgy. I'm pretty upfront about that. I used to like saying disparaging slurs a lot and such, but that video was I forgot how bad that one was. especially wannabe trolls like Awesome Miner. I remember that guy. Well, actually, someone invited him into my server like a few months ago. He never actually posted in my server, but he is in there, and I have nothing against that guy these days. Have you heard about Johnny Somali getting arrested after all of his crimes in Japan? I don't even know who that is. Who is Johnny Somali and what did he do in Japan? Is that another YouTuber to add to the list? My worst YouTubers of 2023 list. Which, speaking of that, is a pretty big list. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 people. 18 potential candidates for my worst YouTubers of 2023 list. Holy shit. This year has been great when it comes to like YouTubers fucking up. I'm obviously not gonna put all 18 people in the video. Some people would probably enjoy that, but I wouldn't enjoy making that. So I'm still gonna narrow it down to 10 people and probably a dishonorable mention like I do on most years. But there have been some years where I wouldn't have as many people on the list like it would be in November, and I'd still only have like 9 people on the list, and I'd be worried that that I wouldn't have enough people in time to make the video. But then there would usually be a YouTuber that comes in clutch and fucks up at the end of the year, and I'm like, "Oh, perfect candidate." Now I have a full list. But this year I've had no problem at all with gathering potential candidates for this year's list. He is an African American kick streamer who did many racist crimes in Japan, like harassment, raging Hiroshima and Nagasaki in public, and turning loud music in public. And he got in trouble with the Yakuza, but never learned his lesson. Wow. Doesn't sound like a very swell guy. Speaking of my worst YouTubers of 2023 list, next month is when I start working on that video. Shit. Just ties back to what I was saying at the beginning of the stream. This year went by way too fucking quickly. Same with most years. Feels like just 5 minutes ago I got finished with working on my worst YouTubers of 2022 video, and I'm like, "Huh, I don't have to worry about making one of these really long videos until next December," and here we are in November. Next month is gonna be December. Not to say I don't enjoy making those videos. If I genuinely didn't enjoy making those videos anymore, I would've stopped making those videos, but I do enjoy making those videos. It's just that those videos take quite a long time to make since they're my longest videos usually by far. Like, I'm used to just making videos that span, like, only 5 minutes to 7 minutes in length, or sometimes even shorter than that. So then it's just a still image on the screen. Not used to making 30 plus minute videos. I don't think I'm particularly good at making videos that long either, unless, it's like the worst YouTubers list, which in that case, I'm happy with how those videos turn out, but in general, I don't like making long videos. Like, I can usually convey my point within, like, a 5-minute to 7-minute, time span. I think too many videos on YouTube are fucking bloated to hell. Like, a lot of content creators just make, like, these fucking 30 plus minute videos where the point can be conveyed in, like, I don't know, under 10 minutes. Gotta get that ad revenue money, I guess. YouTube drama gets old sometimes. Well, I usually only talk about YouTube drama if it genuinely interests me. I have no when it comes to channels that talk about YouTube drama all the damn time, like that's their main bread and butter. I don't have interest in watching that shit. It's mostly inconsequential bullshit at the end of the day. That's why I like to mostly focus these worst YouTubers lists on people who are genuinely awful, like child groomers or people who have actually murdered other people and things like that. Because I feel like those lists would get fucking boring if I'm talking about a channel that just makes shit content and nothing more. I like to talk about people who actually do spread harm into the world with either their content or actions outside of their YouTube content, because I feel like that's far more interesting to talk about than just this YouTuber makes cringy content. Eh, The DK oldies drama still seems to be going on too. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to that in all honesty. I know Review Tech USA has made some videos about them recently. I haven't watched those videos, and I still do watch Review Tech USA. I like the gaming news videos. I've been watching those, but when he uploads a new DK oldies video, it's usually a coin toss on whether or not I'm actually gonna watch the video because I feel like the point has been made at this point. You know, DK Oldies doesn't refurbish their shit. It's nothing really new to bring up in that regard, at least not to my knowledge. I don't think any new development has happened. I mean, they did make that YouTube community post a few months ago that I made a video about. That was a legitimately new development because I thought that was, you know, vaguely gesturing at, you know, or vaguely, insinuating the threat that they'll go after channels talking about them. I thought that was something worth talking about, but yeah, all in all, I don't really have much interest in talking about the DK oldies drama anymore. Unless, of course, again, some, new development happens that, you know, makes me interested in talking about the subject again. People are still commenting on OB's channel. I don't know why. He's probably not going to come back at this point. I remember all those people who were commenting on his last video on the anniversary, on the, what was it, sixth anniversary of his arrest. There's like 15 people down there in the comments under his last video saying, "Yep, he's gonna come back. Today's the day." And I don't know where these people get their fucking information from. That was wild to see and kind of sad at the same time. Some irrelevant pedophile on YouTube at the end of the day. Have ever watched a YouTuber so ridiculous where you think it's a joke but shocked when you realize they were serious? Huh. Yeah, there have been some channels like that. Like the guy I just mentioned, OBA, Original Blood Ace. If you never heard of him, search him up, watch some of his YouTube rants. Or not YouTube rants, his Weverse rants. They're so over the top and crazy that you would think the guy was just playing a character, and I think he tried to actually say at one point, "Yeah, this is just me playing a character. I'm not actually this unhinged in real life." When there's footage of him walking outside of a courthouse after one of his court hearings after he was arrested for possessing child pornography, where he threatens to kick in the teeth of the guy filming him, of the camera guy filming him walking out of the courthouse. So, not that much of a character, I'd say. Yeah, his probation was over like a year now. I just want to know where all those people got the idea that the 6th anniversary of his arrest would be the day his probation ended. Would be exactly the day his probation ended. I don't know. Just so many people last year, I remember, were saying that with confidence in the comments section under his latest video. And I'm just like, where the fuck did all these idiots get their information from? There's a guy called OBA Arrested who was commenting on the video every so often. Yeah, that's the biggest idiot in that comment section. Jesus. Like, imagine in the year of our Lord 2023 running an OBA hate channel. Fuck. Yes, I know. We just hit the 2 hour and 5 minute mark. I'm just finishing up reading messages and then I'm heading out. And this should be the last message I read. For all we know, OBA could have violated his probation or he's on an alt using a voice changer or text to speech. Yeah, you can't rule that out. Maybe he's somewhere on YouTube now, still making the same Nintendo news story videos, but just under a different alias, and he's either using a voice changer or a text to speech software or anything of the sort, or making all text videos or whatever. Who the fuck knows? It'd be funny if someone ever dug that up someday. And yeah, maybe he did violate his probation. Who the fuck knows? I don't think he was really the type to obey rules. I mean, look at his fucking Miiverse videos. He's pretending to be JT. Yeah, it's so fucking obvious that JT was him. The same fucking initials, wrote exactly like him. God, I can't believe I actually thought that was a different person back then. Then again, I was a dumb kid, so whatever. Anyway, this stream is over now because we are past the 2 hour and 5 minute mark. My voice hurts, and I kind of feel like doing something else right now. Not to say I don't enjoy talking to all of you in the chat. This is fun, of course, but when I finally reach the 2 hour mark, I'm just kind of ready to do something else. Anyway, I knocked out this November stream very early in the month, so sometime in December I'll do a stream. I don't know when in December. I never really actually do these. I don't schedule these streams ahead of time. I just do these on any given Friday whenever I feel like it. But yeah, anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you all to those who were here previously but are not here now. I appreciate everyone I talked to in these streams. These are always really, really fun. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say. See ya.